All
Yeah,
right.
I don't think enough could be said about F for the capture card. Sorry, man.
It cost me $60 from Amazon about 4 years ago, so I got my money's worth.
It served its purpose for sure, but F for that. Unfortunate.
But
Fortunately,
yeah,
I
so
was.
I'm just subbing in for Sparty, who is actually going to be doing this along with D-Limes for AGDQ 2023. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to just seeing another run of this. I've been seeing like bits and pieces of it lately from watching these guys. But actually having Apache on comms will actually make it sound more confident that I know what I'm talking about from watching this.
You know what you're talking about. You're all good.
All right. You ready for the countdown? All
I'm
right.
absolutely ready.
All right. Let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, go.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Ah, yes, that beloved monologue at the beginning.
Jack?
All right, welcome to all camos, all face paints, European Extreme. So back in the day, a runner had a dream about making a new category for Metal Gear Solid 3. He said, what if we did the run, but we picked up every single camo and face paint? And that runner was Mini Omega King, and I said, great idea, dude, and then I did the run. It's a great idea if you want to like get into events. If like Metal Gear Solid 3's already been in quite a lot, make up a new category. We've had a lot of fun with this. When I first started routing it, I came up with some ideas, and people like Vermillion, people like Appel, Major, they said, those ideas are terrible. You should do this. This is much faster. Vermillion recently has been coming up with all kinds of like new time saves. So we do play on the hardest difficulty. So that means you can't get seen. If you get seen, it's an instant game over. Bosses have more health. You get less ammo. There's other things as well. Interestingly, in the Virtuous mission, there isn't actually any face paints or camos to pick up, which is good because it gives you time to forget what you're running, and then miss camos once you get into Snake Eater. That happens to me like all the time.
Yeah, because I mean, European Extreme isn't hard enough as it is. When I first heard about this getting in, I kind of thought to myself, man, these guys gotta be crazy doing this. And then I've seen Vermilion running it just, not too long ago, and then I just kind of figured, oh wow, man, no wonder you guys got picked. I mean, because Apache, I mean, you're like a jack of all trades with this game, just running it conventionally, European Extreme with Tuxedo, and now this all camos and face paints. I mean, it's like there's not enough like things you could do with a game like this. Like the possibilities are really quite astonishing.
Yeah, it's fun to try new stuff out as well. But Vermillion has been like, I'd say ever since he got accepted for GDQ, he's been like non-stop grinding this game. Got his first single segment Foxhound run just a couple of days ago, in all camos as well. So I think he's the second person ever to get a Foxhound all camos. So respect for that.
I almost want to ask the first one, but I think I might already know the answer.
Yeah, it's me. Hey, unless it's someone else, if you got some video proof, send it my way. But I think it's me.
Well, it's definitely not me. I mean, because like I said, running this on this difficulty is already hard enough for me. Let alone, I mean, you guys are running this on X Series S, not the horrendous PS3 retirement home loads that I have.
Yeah, I mean, where possible, runners are picking up the game on the Xbox. It just loads faster. But it's kind of difficult because the Xbox Series S and X load at the same speed, but the S is cheaper, but you can't buy the game from the digital store. So, like, you kind of need a disc drive just to be able to play the game. So that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I actually forgot about that for a second. As you were saying that, it's like, yeah, it's still waiting for those games to get re-added digitally across the board for this and two. Um, but from my understanding, the game kind of functions the same way as other platforms. It's just I don't know how the controls are per se when you go from PS3 to this. I know you can get like configured controllers to overcome any I don't know what's the word for it, like any like oddities with let's say running a natural controller setup versus like a pro controller.
Yeah, the aiming is definitely harder on the Xbox version. There's no way around it. No matter what controller you buy, the aiming is just much more sensitive. I think over time people are becoming better with it, but you'll never have like as much control or freedom as you feel when you play on the PS3 version.
Yeah, because that's one funny thing I've had to deal with was not necessarily what the Xbox Series S is doing, but when I change controllers, I've actually had like sensitivity adjustments I had to like change muscle memory for, and that's a lot harder than it sounds. Trying to go from playing one way to another, and then all of a sudden, like everything just feels off to you.
Yeah,
Oh
making
yes,
it.
holding up the stun grenade so you're produce any footsteps. I mean, that's an actual CIA tactic.
This is going to be where the first room where we actually start picking up camos. So the raindrop camo is on the other side of the bridge, and it's just underneath in the little alcove. It's kind of safety strat that we go for is just rolling a couple of times at the start, and then we take out both these guards. The reason we take these guards out is because their vision is extremely good on European Extreme, and when we're in that alcove, if we're even slightly too slow, the guards will just look over and see us from miles away. So taking them out gives us a little bit of leeway. Definitely a more of a marathon safety strat. And we're just using CQC to guarantee we take these guards out. We don't actually have the gun at this point of the run.
Man,
Yeah,
what a roll.
These rolls are lethal. You can miss input and just like leap off the map. You can also grab onto the ledge. Snake's got like magnet hands. If you go too close to a ledge, typically he'll just grab on, but sometimes that will fail too.
I could definitely see that, like seeing him do that roll. I was like, ugh. But one thing with European Extreme, and I think it was mentioned already if it wasn't, but for every time you're spotted, it's an instant game over if discovered. It's a forced in game over condition that's built into the difficulty, which is part of why marathon safety strats like that is vital, because continues can be really lengthy depending on where it happens.
Yeah, so but it's like a guaranteed 15 seconds plus however long the room takes as well. So you can be 20-30 seconds. Just doing a menu here at the start of the Ocelot unit. The Ocelot unit is kind of like a boss fight, but it's also still got that game over if discovered condition. Just popping one in that guard's chest at the start. Out this window on Xbox, typically we hit that guard in the chest as well. On PS3, you would hit them in the head, but it's just because the aiming's a little bit more difficult to mess with and you don't have a lot of time. We find on Xbox we tend to body shot that guard. Now, we're just waiting for this guard on the roof. This is very, very clean. Yeah, so the one we put in the chest before, we're just going to take him out. And now, like, we're pretty much safe. You can take your time with these last two guards. All the hard work is over. And that was a super clean Ocelot unit. Really well done.
Yeah, the last one, when he's aiming off to the side like that, there's a like proximity lock on, if you will, if you're kind of aiming in a general vicinity of a guard. And when you D-pad left and then just try to aim your gun and fire it, it'll actually target lock to the head because like they squint when they notice you. And if you're at the same like level as them, and if you do the shot right, it'll do like an off-screen headshot. It looks really cool, but it's really easy to mess up.
In all camos, we're going to have to go for a swim. So on the right side of the map is the Gecko camo, which is the one with the ducks all over it. It's a really cool camo.
You guys don't have to go for the croc cap, do you?
No, so the crack cap is an item. This was based around everything that can be got in the face and camouflage menu. So although the crack cap is kind of a wearable thing, the game considers it an item.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if that was like part of like a meme agreement. It's like, yeah, we should just go for the croc cap. I mean, it's kind of a camo, even though it really isn't.
There's just no like, there's no like good time to kind of get it out and mess with it as well in a run. And in a race, it just feels weird to do, I think. So you saw Vermillion, he actually went over to the east side to get the camo, but came back on the west side to go into the next room, and that's because he wanted to pick up the grenade. There is an opportunity to pick up the grenade during the Ocelot fight, but it's a little bit out of the way, and we tend to do that fight stood completely still. So moving for that's not ideal.
Oh man, I hate this room coming up. I remember, Apache, you teaching me how to do this room way back when, and I struggled a lot trying to understand this. It's a room that has very little to no margin of error, because again, we're on European Extreme. They can see from far away, and any mistakes you make are pretty much run ending, depending on what pace you're on. But it's load into the room, you gotta crawl underneath the fence, then you gotta shoot against the wall, which makes a dog bark, distracts a guard from the other side. You use the box so you can go up inclines and stairs faster. And the hard part here is, with the box on, you roll through the barbed wire fence with a hole in it, distracts a guard that says, huh, who was that? And you make a roll to the other side with another hole in the fence, and yep, there's a chocolate chip uniform.
And for all that, you get your Choco Chip camo. Yeah, so it's a super tough room. You really can't, you can't make any mistakes in your movement. Even getting stuck slightly on a wall will mess you up. This room's been completely changed recently in all camos. Oh, you're so unlucky, Vermillion. I can't believe you went for the box headshot. So we go for a box headshot at the start of this room. Box headshot's a way to instantly take out guards. That was like a ruthless thing to go for. I don't think I'm doing this in the race, but yeah. So we take out that guard, we go underneath here, we pick up the snow face paint, and now we've got to get up onto the roof. And there's another camo on top of the roof. So certain rooms have two. And then a new strat, which was actually discovered by Malinky Fox. So Malinky Fox in the chat came up with this strat for this room. We go underneath the electric fence here, and it's weird because like the way I do this, you can actually do this without shooting the barrel, but you have to like run at the guards after you get up from the electric fence, and it feels like counterintuitive. It feels like you should be moving away from the guards, but you have to run at them. But nice strat there. Unlucky with the box headshot. It was like kind of crazy to go for that. Anyway, this is the Ocelot fight. As I say, we stand still pretty much. We try and keep him in a loop with the stun grenades and Mark 22 headshots. You also see him shoot the Markor there because that will make Ocelot turn and face it, which also keeps him stood still. Lucky with that shot, nearly the cleanest Ocelot fight of all time, but yeah, that was decent recovery at the end there. Only a couple of seconds lost.
Yeah, sometimes the auto aim can be a little janky with how it locks on. I don't know, it's not nearly as, I want to say, like as dependable as the MGS2 auto aim, which is really good. It will do it in this game, but especially if you're in an area like that where it's kind of hard to tell exactly if you're locked onto him or not, or if he goes behind her, it could, like, I guess, break line of sight of it. Also, if you're having a hard time seeing in the caves, don't worry, you're not alone. It's I think it's an experience. Most people that have played the game at one point in their lives have probably said, man, I can't see a darn thing in here.
Yeah, he also wasn't even crawling in the direction that he was facing. So in this game, when you're in intrusion view, you can use the D-pad to just crawl in whatever direction you want. So Vermillion tends to get into the crawl space and then just hit the direction he wants to go in without facing it.
Yeah, I think in order for me to actually run this game, I had to change the brightness settings on my TV just to even see where the hell I was going in here. I kid you not, it was that dark.
Mine looks fine on my monitor, but it looks bad on the capture card. So I'm hoping when I get a new capture card, it will just look better.
I mean, mine was the opposite. I could see it through the capture, but I couldn't see it on the actual TV I was using. I was looking at it just like, how the hell could this be like?
We're going to see a glitch here to get into the pain fight now. So there are vent glitches in this game, but they're not usable in most of the runs. They are usable in all camos. So rather than crawling all the way around, we can just glitch on top of the vent and hit the load zone, start the pain fight early.
Yeah, the pain's head hitbox is an anomaly, politely speaking. It's not as wide as you think it is, but we're trying to keep them locked in place while taking away the B corner armor, using either the grenades or the smokes. Any explosive will do it, but the smoke will not stun lock him, it'll blow the armor off, while also disrupting the pheromone scent that he throws at you with that, I don't know what you call, like, the lure. And then we're just trying to repeat headshots while he's standing still. And then every time he gets his armor back, you just fire another set of rounds off, and hey, it wasn't too shabby.
Super clean fight. Like, yeah, we don't really do quick reloads on Xbox during the pain fight, because if you attempt to do quick reloads and you miss any, the pain will generally kill you. And there's a glitch on the Xbox, so occasionally when you quick reload, it will just put your gun down. So when you do like tactical reloads, it will occasionally just like try to put your gun down so it won't fire. We don't know what causes it. There's not really any way around it, so we just don't tactical reload during the pain. We still use it in other places in the run, because if it misses in certain other places in the run, you don't die for it generally. The only other place is during the end fight, so sometimes we don't really use it there on Xbox as well. It's not a huge time loss. The only problem is the pain will sometimes get an extra shield phase, which can lose like 9 to 12 seconds.
Yeah, I remember asking Vermillion about that a long time ago, and he was explaining to me just that fact was, you know, trying to spam the headshots just didn't seem as valuable on X series for whatever reason. And you could still get through the fight almost just as well as you could on PS3 without risking it being overextended. And you may have noticed that Vermillion shot the ground to get the mango off the ground, which I remember he told me about this too, was that you guys need the extra stamina for the swim, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not for the swim because we use the this point with the swim, because we took so much longer to get to this point than a normal run, we have a lot less stamina. So yeah, you are right in what you said, Joe. That lower stamina means we have to get out of the water like 5 times during this section. Later, we won't have to get out of the water at all because we're going to use the brown face paint, which gives unlimited oxygen.
Yeah, because I was about to say, like in a New Game Plus run, you could just have that brown face paint equipped from way earlier just to get through sections.
You can
like
have it
without
in New
having to
Game.
surface.
You can have brown face paint in New Game.
Oh yeah, and I think that's through the when you say in New Game, like I'm a fan of MGS3.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah,
we
you have
always
to
select that
select
option.
Man, when that guy wakes up, he won't believe what happened, which was basically trinking one guard while shooting the barrels to take out everybody else and damage the end early, which is going to be helpful for later. Ah, yes, the warehouse. Everybody's place to fear the most when on a good run.
What happened? Freeze.
Oh, he's got unlucky there. What's he gonna do? Right, so this first guard's gonna come down the stairs. If he's got a plan for this, I'll be so impressed.
I'm just kind of going along with this because I don't know. It doesn't look like this is intentional, but I'm thinking it's kind of looks like a backup. Ooh.
Oh no, so unlucky. He had one chance to get that headshot. He had literally one chance to get
that's a
the
really hard
headshot.
shot. I'm surprised he went for that.
Yeah, he got really far into the room. Considering like if you miss that roll that he missed, it's generally just over. So he very nearly saved it. But yeah, we're just knocking down these guards and moving on before they stand up. It was perfect the second time.
Yeah, Snake's rolling hitbox is really good in this game, where his roll will actually still register against an enemy guard even as you like run through them. It's used quite a bit early on, and it's especially used in Warehouse 1 like that.
It's the best roll out of all of Metal Gear.
That's a fact. I run a lot of these, and I can't think of any other role that's not better than this one. I mean, I think Portable Ops carries it over basically the same way, but it still stems from what this game did.
We're going to see a new strat here. I believe Vermillion came up with this himself, so he's going to put the lab coat on early. Now, when guards see you in the lab coat, they will take you to the prison cell in this room. However, if you turn the box on and off, it will reset the amount of time before they capture you. So you'll see him constantly flicking the box on and off. And he wants to get in this vent earlier in the, further into the room, because there's actually a face paint in this vent.
Yeah, I remember when he showed this to me, and I saw him get to this vent without being spotted. I was like, dude, no way. I was just as surprised like how well it works just getting there.
So now he's going to get captured on purpose. So this is really clever, and again, this is something he came up with himself recently. Getting captured here means getting taken to the cell. We don't have to travel all the way around into the room, and we want to be on the east side of the building anyway, because we're going to go upstairs to the toilets to get the fly camo. So over what I was doing when I routed this game, this is just like so much faster. I think it's like 40 seconds faster or something overall for everything he did there.
Yeah, I think I forgot to ask this in the beginning, but how many total camos is there to collect that you guys are tracking as, you know, you must have this many?
It's 23, so 17 camos and 6 face paints.
Hey man, when you gotta go, even if you gotta bust the door down. Bill Nye Strikes Back. Yeah, I mean, well, again, it's just, you know, this is just another day in the lab. You got this guy with the bandana on. I mean, he kind of looks like he's a scientist. He's meant to be there. I mean, I often joke about it whenever I run the game, saying, "Oh, it's, you know, just Dr. Snake with a PhD and boxes and box accessories." I mean, what else is he there for?
I'm no fan of the 3D camera, so it was a very sad day when I saw my son Vermillion had become a 3D camera user. But he does use it in the lab to great effect. It seems like since he started using this in here, his labs have just been like so much cleaner.
Yeah, I remember that was something I had to adjust myself, was the camera, and there are some parts of the game where I just, you know, prefer the 3D camera just because of a certain area, but yeah, in the beginning it was almost like all substance cam, hardly any original, and now it's like the other way around, thanks to Apache's generous training.
So here he's put on the brown face paint and the animals camo. So we said earlier, but brown face paint will give us unlimited oxygen. And we're going to do a huge backtrack swim after the fear. So rather than going straight from the Fear to the forest, we're going to go back to around where the pain fight was to pick up a camo that doesn't spawn until after you meet Granin.
Yeah, that was one that I never knew about for the longest time until I started watching you guys run this, honestly.
It's funny to think that the backtracks, they used to be like mandatory, but in Metal Gear Solid 3 they're just optional.
Well, I mean, it's just the whole idea of them putting a camo all the way back there from where you are. I mean, it was kind of like, yeah, come on.
At least it's not the Palki, that's all I'm saying. At least it's not the sniper rifle. So yeah, the Fear fight, we're just going to fake death pill by this branch. When he begins to walk forward, going to revive, throw a stun grenade at the ground. While the Fear is stunned on the ground, any damage he takes is converted into stamina damage, and we set up a rope trap just next to him. Bish bash bosh. See you later, the Fear. And you also get his camo.
And the hunter becomes the hunted.
You gotta remember to pick that one up. That's like a classic one that you'll miss.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even on my New Game Plus file run that I have set up for this, I always skip that camo. I mean, it's supposed to give you good camo regardless of, like, what position, like, you're in and what room you're in, but it drains your stamina so fast, and, you know, stamina in this game is, you know, very important when you're not using the animal's camo, which bypasses any penalties when you're on low stamina. You know, with, like, shaky aim and all that and healing. But, oh, wow, really nice shot on him.
Yeah, it was a completely new strat again that Vermillion came up with. Very, very clean.
Yeah, so this is the backtrack through the river Apache was talking about to get the rain camo. Or did you say water camo?
I think it's water camo or water face paint. Right now, Vermillion he's trying to get out this room as quickly as possible. You need to do this section relatively cleanly, otherwise those guards are going to wake up. So if you get through here nice and quick, you can save yourself time on the way back. If the guards are still asleep, you can kind of just swim through the room and continue on. If you're a little bit slower, they wake up and then you have to deal with them. And because you're in animals camo as well, those guards can see you really easily. Animals camo is not a good camo for this area.
Yeah, so the camo is way back here, in case if you were ever curious if anything ever spawns in here after getting this far in, because I had no idea this was here. So, yeah, face water camo. Yeah, so this is, again, really good use of the brown face paint for sections like this. Otherwise, you would have to, you know, have more stamina to, you know, counteract this and then have to surface, I don't know how many times just to be able to go all the way back.
Yeah, it's really like a... I'm just so glad it's in the game, the brown camo in the HD collection, because I feel like this run wouldn't be as fun if you had to surface a ton of times during that section.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we're hoping to just swim all the way out and get out of the water and run out this room before the guards wake up. They don't stay asleep for very long on European Extreme, so we've got to be quick. Fortunately, even if that guard on the right gets up, he does face away for an extra few seconds. But yeah, Vermillion's out, nice and clean, and we can proceed on to the forest now.
Be on the lookout for a rogue box charged with tackling a guard. Again, I'm just really fascinated with the the rolling hitbox in this game. Like, so many things you can do with it. So I think the next camo coming up, besides the ends camo, which I'm sure for some people maybe they never realized that there was one for him, which of course me included when casually playing the game back then. but you have to hold the end up, which not entirely uncommon for speed runs, but it's something that you don't normally see happen a whole lot in terms of trying to go for the camo itself, because we usually do the hold up for just keeping them locked in place to do a 6-spray smoke stun grenade loop, which itself has also changed over time, which also includes having the arrow in the leg. So I guess, yeah, maybe Apache, you could tell us a little bit more about the whole arrow in the leg in this fight.
Yeah, for some reason, if you leave the arrow in your leg, the end spawns in a prone position, which makes him easier to headshot. The old strat before Go-Go Time invented this new way of doing the end fight. We used to have to take the arrow out to make sure the end spawned in a kneeling position. So we don't know why the crossbow bolt from the Fear affects the end spawning position, but it does. And even more interestingly, it only does it on European Extreme. It doesn't do it on any other difficulty. Weird game. But yeah, one of the great mysteries of Metal Gear Solid 3. We don't know why it happens. So, Vermillion is doing a new end strat, as I say, founded by Go-Go Time, perfected by Major Zero as well. The end has a failsafe, so after he's left the room, after 25 seconds, if he hears a loud sound, he will spawn in the closest position he can see you from, I believe on European Extreme. So we just manipulate him into spawning into this room. And that gives us the opportunity to hold him up. In all camos, of course, we have to hold him up and get the moss camo from him. When he gives us the moss camo, it can go in a bunch of different places. The worst one is it can land like on top of the end, and you can't like get it without first knocking him down, moving away, and then coming back to it. But we got a good moss spawn there, so pretty happy with that. And now we're just going to continue to loop him. We know generally which way he's going to run after each knockdown, and we'll manipulate that by standing in a good position as well. So we just need to hit him with a Cigar Gas Spray one more time. This is a really clean fight. I'd say
Really
like
nicely done.
Low key, it's a little bit easier in all camos, just because you get more kind of leeway after you hold him up and knock him down. You don't have to deal with coughing from the smoke grenade. It's still like a a strat that you have to learn and perfect, and Vermillion executed really well there. But it is worth saying that because we're getting that camo, it does give us a little bit of extra breathing room.
Yeah, and I guess in case if you were ever curious how to get the end camo, well, that's one way of doing it.
Me and Vermillion actually had a talk before GDQ, and we said that because we're both just so like passionate about the story of this game, that we're going to opt to not skip the ladder. So we're not going to skip the ladder at GDQ. Anyone who wants to see that, I'm sorry, but the ladder's it's just too important to us, like personally.
Hey, I completely get it. You know, there's a whole lot of controversy when Apel decided to, destroy the world into finding a way to skip the ladder climb, which itself is very complicated. I don't know how to even describe it, a process, but it doesn't work in single segment. You have to load it as save, and it's a very precise setup with inventory, and I can't even explain the rest because I don't really know exactly what it entails, but it's very specific, and there's even a chance, like, I don't know if it does on Xbox, but like, I thought when House was testing it a long time ago, like on PS3, like there was a chance it could crash the game.
It can brick your console also.
Yeah, probably a even better reason not to do it for a live event.
If you did want to check it out, though, it's worth watching Ed Boy's multi-segment run of Metal Gear Solid 3, because you can do it in multi-segment runs.
Plus I guess, just for you guys personally, I mean, this would be like a good break for yourselves, maybe get donations read in. I mean, if you guys were able to skip the ladder somehow, then it's like that you don't get that like minute break or so besides the torture.
The GDQ, no one's talking during the ladder, no donations, no nothing. It's just complete silence and singing.
You know, they say when you start the ladder climb and you come out the other end, you ascend as a different person.
Yeah,
Or it
you
could
are.
just
You're
be a bunch of, or it could be a bunch of nonsense. But I don't know. I think there's something to it. If you climb back down the ladder backwards, the song plays backwards. True story. Yep, sounds right to me.
The funny thing is, if you skip the ladder, and then you jump off, it will play the sound trigger as you're falling down. So I think that's quite funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the ladder ladder skip skips the trigger, but you can hit it by jumping back down.
I didn't know that. T-Tree says that if you donate enough, he'll sing it backwards while he's hosting this race.
Sounds like a good shout. Sing it backwards.
Oh yes, the
Vermillion.
mountains. Oh,
Vermillion he did a tuxedo strat right there. He did a when you're in the tuxedo, you have to tiptoe shot, headshot the first guard. But
Dude,
Vermillion,
Patchy. It's because I watched your tuxedo video. That's not. I'm not even kidding.
you fool.
I was like, oh yeah, you have to tiptoe here. And I actually don't have to.
Going safe on mountains, that's what I'll be doing in the race as well. There are some really cheeky strats you can do with like box headshots. There's also an awesome strat here where you shoot the guard with the lethal pistol in order to just stagger him enough to get up to him and roll into him. When he falls off the mountain, that doesn't count as a kill. Because as we all know, when you push someone off a cliff, that isn't murder. It's totally different.
hey man, I can't see it any other way. I mean, gravity's at fault here. I mean, Snake just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Same with the barrels.
Yeah, similarly, if you blow up a barrel and someone happens to be near it, that doesn't count as a kill either.
Remind me to avoid cliffs if we ever hang out, Apache. Man, I'm sure Apache will never do that.
So Vermillion's got a brand new strat that he came up with, picking up the splitter camo. What I was doing, because I'm like mega lazy, I would pick this camo up and then leave the room and reset it. But Vermillion came up with his own strat. It's kind of like reminiscent of the tuxedo strat for this room.
Oh, really?
He's on a roll right now. Gonna take it extra careful. Shoot that barrel, which again does not kill the guard, even though he's dead. And we've got one more guard on his radio. Very clean. Nice way of doing the room. And we can meet Eva.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the splitter camo can spawn in 2 places in the game, and I think the mountains is the second location if you didn't pick it up before.
Yeah, it's normally in Bolshire South, in the same room where the Choco Chip is.
Oh, but it's on
just,
that ledge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just more awkward to get. It's much easier to get in mountains. I wonder if they had plans to do that with more of the camos, you know, put them in random places in the game if you didn't get them. Because it's not actually that many that do that. It seems kind of like it was started and forgotten.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe there might have been something to that, unless if it was just so obscure that perhaps they just wanted to give the player a chance to actually acquire it.
But it's like, why that one? Why the splitter? Like, the splitter sucks. Like, there's so many more cooler camos that don't do that. But anyway, this is the fear fight. It's the hardest fight in the game. At the start, he's going to spawn on the left or right, or sometimes center. And Vermillion's been grinding the center spawn because he saw me die to it at GDQ and thought, that ain't going to be me, bro. Whoa, it started out with the Mark 22 there and then switched to the Mosin, and that made the Fury turn around. If that was on purpose, I've never seen that before, and that's really cool. I'm lucky getting hit through the wall. That's really an Xbox thing right there. That doesn't really happen on PlayStation 3. Oh, that as well.
Oh,
Like
that's unlucky.
that's like Xbox frame rate fire. Like the amount of fire that's being produced on the screen doesn't happen on any other version of the game. So this is already a really tough fight, but it's even harder on this version. Vermilion with the center spawn, this is the hardest spawn to deal with. It's the one that you want to see the least in marathons. But if you deal with it correctly, you can get like some of the fastest furies of your entire life. Like this right here, this is super fast. Don't forget to pick up the camo Vermilion. It's on your left. That's the easiest camo for Vermilion to forget.
I've forgotten it so many times.
You know, when Apache said the fear, I almost assumed just through the accent that he said fury. I didn't even notice.
Did I say the fear? Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did, but it almost sounded like just as you were talking, it could have just been fury.
Sorry, I've only played this game a couple of times. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm just along for the experience.
Alright, you're going to see the power of the box. If you haven't already experienced the great power of the box up to this point with it putting out fire, you can see its stealth camo properties right now.
I mean, what can it do? I mean, you can go up and down stairs and inclines with it without slowing down. Guards can't even see you. Yeah, where's this box been all my life?
Very clean Rykov strat here. You just shoot the guard in the smoke, and that makes Rykov run to the radio. That allows us to capture him nice and quickly.
Oh, I was actually gonna ask if on X Series S if you have any trouble with pressure sensitivity for CQC.
It doesn't exist. There's no pressure sensitivity on the Xbox version, and all the buttons are remapped to different buttons. So rather than having the pressure sensitivity for like the throat slit, you have a button for that, and it's just better. It's better in every single way.
Yeah, because I was gonna say whenever I run this with an adapter for another controller besides the DualShock 3, one thing I have to sacrifice is CQC grab and dragging Rykov across the room, because otherwise it assumes that you're trying to slit the guard's throat.
Yeah, and when I ran PS3 and I used I should probably mention that's the box glide found by Appel. It's one of the few glitches we have in this run. It's pretty
Wait
cool.
for it. Whee! Let's see here, just an officer flying across the room with the box.
Yeah, for the longest time when I ran PlayStation 3, I would use a DualShock 1 with an adapter, and I would lose the ability to CQC grab basically. But it was that only matters for like Rykov. And if you just cigar gas spray him and drag him, you'll lose a few seconds. But it's better than having to deal with pressure sensitivity. Pressure sensitivity sucks, and if you think it's good, you're wrong.
You'd better start talking.
Yeah, it's gotten me in more trouble with running this game than it's helped me. But there's just the CQC drag was probably like the one time I would want it, enabled if I had a way to do it. But yeah, I can't tell you like how many dropped like rolling shots I've missed, the amount of missed menus. Yeah, definitely not fun times.
The problem with it on the Xbox, on the Xbox. The problem with it on the PlayStation is those DualShock 3s. The amount that you have to hold the pressure sensitivity like changes very quickly, and it degrades really fast. And if you lose it, if the controller breaks, you've lost like functions of the game. Whereas on the Xbox, you'll just never have that problem.
But first, let's take a look at your body, shall we? What a beautiful body you have.
Get to chill
Like a
on this bit.
newborn baby.
Good run from Vermilion so far. He's only made like very minor mistakes going for like super difficult strats as well, like that box headshot in the Bolshoi base.
I'm always going for that box headshot.
Don't do it at GDQ, dude. You're gonna feel so bad. Like, you're gonna feel so bad if you mess that up.
I don't know.
Or Sokolo.
It's like
Or
it's
maybe
like the easiest box
legacy.
headshot in the game, but it's still box headshot. So like you might mess
Answer me.
up, and it's over.
Who is helping you?
You don't like doing the one after the Fury,
Who
right?
let
And
you
I
in
think that
here?
one's I think that one's
I-
actually easier.
I used to do it all the time, but I started hating it
You're
recently.
a tough one.
I just
Even
see it safe
you
now.
must have your limits. And
I
am
don't know. It could be some like
patient
this reverse
man.
psychology, being worked in. Like, oh yeah, don't do this. you know,
No,
and
man,
then
I'm not
you-
like I genuinely I don't want to see him fuck up a box. You do what you want for Vermillion, man. I just don't want to see it fuck it up. You'll feel bad about it.
I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of this, pre-GDQ race banter of like, oh, I'm gonna destroy so and so's career in MGS3 after it's all said and done.
Did you throw up?
Nah, but it's all in good fun. I hope. Oh yeah, that's Johnny. Pretended that when he threw up and we're sick, he's gonna open up the door, beat him up for his smoke grenades, and kick the rat on the floor so you use it instead of the noodles normally to continue on escaping, because they literally took the clothes off our back, confiscating all of our stuff. So smoke, like from before, you hold it up, they can't hear your footsteps, and we just run left. And the next room, yep, you guessed it, you're running left.
My favorite room in the game. This.
Alright, this is where things can get pretty tricky, which is the northwest section. So you have to throw a spoke on the other end a particular way to not only cloud the vision of one guard, but it interrupts another, while again using the smoke holding to silence your steps. Throw it at the doggo. Yeah, he's gotta be somewhere nearby, man. I mean, it's not like smoke just spontaneously appears at this place.
Vermillion's using the trusty old low Earth orbit strat, where you literally just yeet the grenade into space. That was done for a long time, and then Major found like that you only had to throw it like slightly up, and now it's gone back the other way, and people are throwing the grenade into space again. But as long as it works, like I don't care. I hate that room. Everyone hates that room.
I hate that room.
It's not a fun room. It's so easy to get
Yeah,
caught.
I hate when I get caught. I mean, which is pretty much saying that I hate the room. I think I also just flick up. I don't really like try to chuck it as you think you need to. But it's such an easy thing to mess up, though. What if it's the worst for me is when you try to cancel part of the throwing animation by unequipping, and I don't actually let the grenade get thrown first.
Yeah, I do it off sound, so I like doing that little animation cancel so you can start running faster. But yeah, doing it off sound rather than visual probably best.
Yeah, I mean, it's all fun in games until your own grenade gets canceled, and then you're just stuck out in the open.
Yeah, because I do it during the pain as well, and yeah, if you mess it up during the pain, you just die. Okay, so in all camos, we of course get to see the Sorrow fight, which normally we just get straight through in the speedrun. It's a super fun fight, especially in a race. His energy attack, I don't know what else to call it, right? It's like an energy attack. I think that's fair. It's like a Dragon Ball Z type blast. It's completely random, so you can go the entire length of the river and he won't do it once. Or he can stop you every 2 minutes to do it. We don't really worry about the bosses. We'll kind of just walk into them, lose a little bit of health, but you just have to survive the river to get to the other side and get that awards you the spirit camo.
See, chat's calling it. See, Kamehameha, pointy stab attack, spirit bomb. Yeah, I mean, I was almost gonna call it like a spirit wave.
It's gotta be spirit bomb, right? Because he gives you the spirit camo. So spirit bomb.
Oh, spirit bomb it is.
But yeah, Vermillion got super unlucky there. He did so many attacks. The annoying thing is, if he does attacks, you have to move out the way. That matters for a race, because we'll have two completely different Sorrow fights, and we'll gain and lose time during this fight. For the speedrun.com board, or for leaderboards and deciding who has record, we use IGT, so the time that comes up on the scorecard at the end of the game. But none of this time counts towards that, which wasn't found until, I think, only in 2020 did someone notice that this is the case, and that was when Appel and Major Zero were messing around with the emulator, and we were trying to find a discrepancy between two very easy runs. They were mine and his run, I believe, and there was a difference in the RTA and the IGT, and we just couldn't work out where it was coming from. And for me personally, I was like, I don't really care. Like, you know, I'm not going to worry about that. But Major and Appel, like, they can't rest until they know where that discrepancy was coming from, and they eventually realized that it's from this fight. So me and Major would do the fight slightly differently, and because none of that time actually counted on the scorecard, that's what was causing the discrepancy between the IGT and the real time.
Yeah, so to get out of the dream, you just have to have Snake die and then use the revival pill. And I think if I understand from what you're saying is that the time stops from when you load in. Major Zero explained it to me a long time ago, exactly like the specifics of what he and Apel were able to figure out, and it was quite amazing because I honestly never knew it actually stopped the IGT. I was always under the assumption, yeah, just get out of there as soon as possible, you know, speedrunner's mentality. But yeah, as it turns out, in IGT it doesn't do a thing as far as going one way or the other.
Yeah, I think it just takes your time, whatever the IGT is at when you leave to start the Sorrow fight, and it resets the time back to that when you're done.
Oh, dude, I hate doing that roll at the waterfall. I don't do it anymore. I always fall in.
Yeah, I know, I don't do it either. It saves like 2 seconds, and if you miss it, you'll lose like 40.
I mean, it's bad enough you already have the log roll, which can either look very cool or you lose 20 seconds of your life having to swim back. The swim of shame, I think it's called, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so embarrassing if it happens. No, I'm not a fan of the log roll either. There is something called like the Tikugoni roll that Appel found, when you can go on the left side at the start and roll up the mountain, but it's like really precise, and that saves quite a lot of time as well. You don't have to go all the way around.
Wasn't there another one where you were at like the base of the river, and if you somehow dove in a certain way, and then you could surface like on the other side of the map somewhere? I remember seeing.
No, you like you begin the dive, and then you can kind of glitch it into a roll. It's like really difficult to do though.
And Apel finds like really like weird stuff, but I mean, yeah, shout outs to him and everybody else that's contributed to this game over the years.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of stuff to be found in these runs if you're interested in routing and taking part. Like there is a bunch of stuff still to be found. Vermillion's proven it with this run, like all the new stuff he came up with. Malik Fox, who's been coming up with stuff. It's a group effort.
Power of the box yet again, making the guy go off to the left, and stealth camo activated.
Yeah, so what Vermillion did, he waited to take that first guard out. Once the other guard saw the downed guard and began walking towards him, he won't actually see Snake in the box. Maybe something to do with the AI priorities in this game. Because if he just ran out without the box, he would have been caught. But yeah, we use that in all the runs.
I mean, it's just the box. I mean, you know, it's not bothering anybody.
I don't know who did that first, but I would guess Hikari. Like, if I had to guess, I would say Hikari came up with that. And we're going back here because there's a couple of camos in this room. In the locker where we stash Rykov, we can get the sneaking suit. Sneaking suit's fantastic. Oh my god, he's doing the RPG strat. Okay, so...
Oh, so that's why he equipped it.
This barely saves any time, but it just looks so funny. I can't believe he just did this. So rather than opening the locker, he just used the RPG. I can't believe you just did that. What a legend. What an
I
absolute
mean,
legend.
does that actually save time when you do that?
Yeah, 'cause you
despite
don't-
having a caution carryover.
Yeah, because you don't have to open the locker, and this room works exactly the same.
Wow, I mean that's actually pretty brilliant, despite how silly it looks at first.
That RPG though, it has to be so precise to take the locker out. Like you have to literally land the RPG rocket on the front of the locker. It can't just be like the blast damage. I saw him come up with this in real time on his stream, and my first thought was you're an idiot, and my second thought was no one's ever gonna do that in a run. And here we
I'm
are.
always doing that in the run. You already know.
I'm actually surprised that the splash damage isn't enough to hit the locker, like you were saying. Like it has to be dead on exact to hit it.
Yeah, no, there's no blast damage. It's not like in MGS2 where like you sort of sneeze on a locker and it'll break. So Volgin, we got to do Volgin non-lethal. Non-lethal fight here is a lot harder than the lethal fight. It's one of the downsides to doing this run, I guess, is that this Volgin fight's quite hard actually. And we're relying on quick reloads, and although they don't have to be perfect, they do have to be pretty good. And if you get the quick reload glitch, it can cause you issues in this fight. Clean phase 1. In phase 2, we put the Rykov mask on at the start of the fight, and that will give us like a setup to kill Volgin here. So we can go behind him at the start of the fight, do some shots, he'll pause and look at us, and get like another chance to... Oh, unlucky.
Wow,
Really,
down
really
to the
clean
last
fight.
shot.
Really, really clean there, mate. We take the Rykov mask off. It's not just because it looks dumb, but it actually messes with Eva during the escort later. She won't always follow you because you're wearing the Rykov mask. She'll ask like what you're doing, and she does that with a few camos. The Rykov mask, the Oyama face paint she does it for, and there's the crocodile cap as well. Makes her react weirdly. There's probably a few others too, but those are the main ones that come to mind.
I know she'll do it with if you have the box on. Like she'll be like, "What are you doing?"
So she should.
Well, I mean, I just say to her, it's like, man, haven't you realized how important the box is in this game? I mean, how could you not expect me to not use it?
And here we're just trying to do as much damage as we can to the Shagohod. So we can do, I think it's 40% of the Shagohod's health, which is the damage cap. But it's very difficult to hit that cap. And of course, we're still non-lethal in all the guards. Although we've lost Foxhound, we still go for Foxhound strats.
Yeah, I was gonna assume like that would be the same regardless if either one of you's on Fox on pace or not. You know, so that way no one can just go full ham during bike chase if you lost it early to try to make up time. Yeah, but I guess the one other nice thing about a bike chase is that there's no camels to collect. You know, so it's kind of like a momentary break from that.
Yeah, it's just the auto scroll section of the game. Calm before the storm, the calm before you have to nail the perfect Shagohod loop. In all camos, the bike chase is because most of us, well, all of us actually, we all ran European Extreme and then ran all camos later. We're all used to doing the bike chase without the sneaking suit. So once you give us the sneaking suit after we've already become quite good at the bike chase, it becomes a lot easier while wearing the sneaking suit.
Funny enough, I was doing just that whenever I run this at New Game Plus. It's just too good.
Yeah,
for this.
The sneaking suit reduces incoming damage by 50%, and with like bad RNG, you can take a lot of damage during the bike chase, even if you avoid all the the RPGs and the big heavy hitters, you can still just through RNG take quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, like RPGs and burns are like the worst things that you could have Snake deal with, even with the sneaking suit. And I think even melee attack or cuts can also do a lot. But yeah, RPGs are by far the worst in the game, and especially if you're running this on PS2, for example, where it doesn't look anywhere near this nice for frame rate, and if an RPG goes off and all the debris is on the screen, it just slows the game to a crawl.
Yeah, I think RPGs are pretty damaging. I think fire's the most damaging. Like the worst thing that can happen during the bike chase is catching fire.
Yeah, because of the tick damage that goes with it, right?
Yeah. This part's chill. We just try and take the gunners off the bike. Once the gunner's gone, no more bikes can spawn. You can only have 4 bikes on the screen at once.
Yeah, the guys in the sidecar have the scorpions, which, you know, maybe one by itself may not seem threatening, but a lot of them firing at once, even with the sneaking suit, can you know, take your health down pretty easily. With the drivers by themselves, they try to use the pistols while navigating the bikes, which are very inaccurate for obvious reasons. And they don't deal a lot of damage either, which... also, your health is regenerating concurrently throughout this whole thing, and your stamina stays full, so even if you sustain a little bit of damage, your health is going to regen really fast during this. Oh, very tempting, Vermillion. I really hope one of you guys doesn't do that. As tempting as it is sometimes. I mean, I can understand the frustration. I mean, you know, the fight coming up will hopefully not see it, but you can maybe at least understand some of the pent-up frustration of dealing with humans driving. The Shagohod fight.
She makes a bad fight worse. Like, if you do the fight correctly, you don't, and everything goes perfectly, you don't have to worry about her driving. But when it gets messed up, she can make it like 100 times worse with bad driving.
You know, I get this funny feeling that we're either wasting our ammo, you didn't feel a thing, and it's all we can manage. Did I get that right? I don't know, it could just be me.
Everyone's favorite bit. There's just like a very specific part we're trying to hit, and we're trying to make sure he doesn't drop back. Really, you got good damage on him here. You're going to be happy getting over 25% because it can be so much worse. Alright, let's see. Take out some C3s. We just take it out the first set and then just wait with the last one until he crosses the M on the bridge.
And even though you could technically use a pistol here to shoot this C3, please don't do it. I've lost a Fox on run trying to do that and miss. Alright, here we go. Shagohod.
Good start. This is trying to open up for the Shagohod loop, so that first shot's really important. No, he's not got it, unfortunately. Can he get a pity loop, backup loop? Eva not cooperating with the driving either. So the plan is to damage the Shagohod tread, and then we just want to camp behind him for as long as possible.
That was actually a nice hit right there. Yeah, Yeah, so again, you're just aiming at the rear side of the Shagahad since the other half got dropped down from the bridge when it blew up. Oh, Eva, don't do it. Don't do. Oh, she's doing it. This is what I was talking about. You know, like this is the moment where you're just like, Eva, why are you doing that? Why must we suffer through an already suffering experience?
Yeah, if you miss the loop, that fight can be kind of stressful.
Yeah, thankfully Phase 2 is nothing as dependent as Phase 1, where Eva is just acting as distraction. You just aim at the treads, swap between the RPG and the Mosin, take a shot at his head. Easy peasy.
Yeah, really clean Phase 2 though.
In case you didn't get enough of it the first time. Or bike chase. Or I guess, is it really a bike chase anymore, or is it more like a leisurely drive mountain ride through the mountains?
It's like the lazy river. It's like you're just in a ring floating down the lazy river.
Yeah, and then these guys just happen to be here, just looking to spoil a good time.
Over there! Go get him!
So I think at this point, there's only one camel left to collect.
Yep, there's exactly one camo which comes from the boss. And he's got
Yes.
them all as well. I've been counting. I've been ticking him off the list as well. So he's done well.
Oh, dude, I hate this barricade coming up because of this RPG guy. At least whenever I try to snipe it, I hate it. With a stun, I mean, as long as you get it in the right spot, it's no big deal. But these guys, oh, the hovercraft guards, they are by far the most annoying thing in the game to deal with. You know, because not only do they hover around, and they're very hard to hit at times, but sometimes they can even fly right above your head and stay there. I mean, quite literally above your head. I mean, someone thought it was a good idea to allow them to do that. And not only that, but they carry scorpions too, and they still hurt even with the sneaking suit. But as long as you take them out as quickly as you see them in good order, and it's sustainable. But there are definitely times where I just despise these things to no end, especially if there's a chance where, and I hope I'm not gonna have commentators first saying this, but I hope one of them doesn't crash on Vermillion, which can happen when you shoot them down.
Yeah, fortunately in the sneaking suit you can survive like 3 of them crashing on top of you. Sneaking suit's so good. In a normal run in Tuxedo, this section just felt like RNG. Like if I had too many land on me, like that was it, and there's nothing you can do. You can't stop them from crashing on you. One thing is as well, if you do catch fire here, you can go into the menu and change camo, and it puts the fire out. So good tip for even if you're just playing the game casually as well. Works against the Fury too. Of course we have the box versus the Fury, but changing camo works as well. That was a good platform section.
Yeah, once you're through that part of the bike chase, then this half isn't as scary. You know, because again, you're just back to dealing with the bikes, not the flying hovercraft that just spawn to no end. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask this earlier, but now that we're here, I mean, this is probably the best time to ask, but you know how there's that chance where these bikes can fall a certain way and they just spin infinitely?
I've only
when I
ever
co-
seen you do it. I've only ever seen you do it. I've
Yeah,
never
I
seen anyone
wonder
else run
if
it
is
before
that
us.
possible on this version, because I've had it happen several times on PS3 where if you get the bike to fall over a certain way and it just does like this endless spin. And there's no rhyme or reason why it does it in the first place, but I always look for it whenever I'm here running this game.
I love watching runs of this game. I watch everyone run this game. I've never seen anyone but you do it.
I mean, I think there's the one where it happened the very first time, and it got it to spin like right as I got near the cliff, and it actually tried to make the jump while spinning. I kid you not. Of course, it didn't make it, but it looked absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Seeing it spin while making it jump. And
I love that clip. I absolutely love that clip. But no, it's just you. That's a Joe special. You're capable of finding all kinds of weird stuff in these games that no one ever sees again.
I mean, I don't even remember doing anything particular for it. It just happened in front of me, and it's like, oh, cool, look, it could just spin without crashing. So coming up on the tail end of the run, just gotta feed Eva, which was found, I think by Raichu by accident.
Certainly was. Saves 9 seconds if you just feed her straight away, because she only begins to run out of stamina by the time we get to the end. So you do have to feed her at some point, and you may as well do it while you're already in the pause menu.
Yeah, and at a minimum, you have to heal her injuries or you can't leave the screen. Snake's injuries are not that important. They'll heal on their own. He's just built tough. But at this point, it's a game of trying to keep Eva as clean of a line as you can get, and it is important for this section because it's all fun and games until she decides to go the long way around trees, and I'm sure you know this pain very well, Apache, trying to navigate Eva through this section and then having to lose all that time of her just going around a tree.
Yeah,
or rock or just anything in her way.
The thing is, Eva moves in a better line the closer she is to you. But if you're too close, she stops and you have to call her again. So you have to find this balance of being close to her but not too close, and then not far enough away that she does weird lines. So she's annoying, but fortunately it's only 2 rooms. You know, people always say what's worse, like Eva or Emma. I think Emma, because Emma's longer.
Yeah, I think I can say that fairly, that it's... Yeah, this drags on a bit, but not nearly as long.
And obviously Meryl's the best, because you don't have to do anything with her.
Well, I mean, unless if you choose to save her like I do, because, I mean, it's the right ending after all, but I'll say that for that's it for fun to compensate for.
You did that yourself. No one's making you do that. That's your choice.
You know, I will say I did have this crusade where I was thinking, you know what, I'm gonna go for sub 1 hour in Twin Snakes, saving Meryl, doing big boss strats. It was torture, but I did eventually get it, but continued to save Meryl after the fact anyway, just because of how traumatized I was trying to get that sub hour. And then I later realized, you know what, it's still the right ending. Watch, I'm probably gonna get banned from doing more of these now. I mean,
No, that's
reactions.
I think everyone out there should run the game exactly how they want to, and like, you know, if this thing's faster but you don't want to do it, just play the game however you want. Just like
I hate that shot. Yeah, if you miss that guy at the tree log there, he goes off to the side. You have to wait. It's really annoying. There he goes. Alright, so we're coming up towards the last boss fight, and the last camo, no less, coming from the boss herself. Oh, dude, trying to go first person here on PS3 lags is so bad. It's actually a nice thing to see that it doesn't do it as badly here.
This entire
Let's see
fight
what
as
you're
well.
made
Like this
of.
fight's super laggy on every other version apart from the series.
Yeah, so first part, you counter the CQC charge by press and holding your melee button, whatever it is. I naturally say circle because of how I played it. You shoot her, throw her down, throw a stun up in the air. And you gotta be careful how you do this. You don't want the stun to like drop on her and hit her to break out of this loop that Vermillion's creating right now. And then after she rubs her eyes, you kind of shoot her twice in the head again, throw her down. Now in the third set, you opt for a final shot on the head. You can't do it a third time. So she'll charge a second time, counter the charge again, 2 more shots. And if the damage stacked up is right from getting all the headshots, and wow, really nicely done. Oh, and Keraton shot.
That was a really nice fight right there, and did all the correct damage.
Yeah, sometimes if you shoot an arm or something like that, you'll be a little bit short when you try to end it with like the last CQC, but really nicely done.
All right, time will be when I shoot Ocelot.
Take this.
Oh, hey,
That was a-
Vermillion, I forgot you were here.
True. I have been I was like pretty focused on the
Only
final boss fight. I was like, I can't mess this up.
Ah man, you
Sometimes did it
pretty clean.
Patriot.
God, thank goodness. It was a good run overall. Some mistakes, but it was I think it was pretty decent.
What's record in this now?
snake.
122 is it?
1:22:01.
Wonderful man. Kill me.
01.
Kill
Yeah,
me now.
01.
God damn.
Do it.
21 is impossible though. Sorry. That'll just never happen.
You'll have that run had an alert too. That's the crazy part. In Mountains 1. It was an amazing run, but
There's only room for one boss.
yeah, the box headshot on the guy before
Oh.
Ocelot.
Oh yeah, the Bolshaya base.
Yep. Alright. I'm on the shot on Ocelot. I'm gonna shoot him in a really funny area.
The shin.
Alright, there you go. Alright, time.
Well done, mate. Super good run of the game. I love seeing the new strats. You got so many you came up with so many new things for this run, and it's great to see.
Yeah, thank you. It was really fun making up a lot of the strats. It's like I saw like a lot of the things weren't optimized yet, and I was like, you know what, gotta figure it out because not that many people run this category, but it's a really cool category, and I want more people to run it. It'd be really fun.
I'm glad you got so much better at this run because it's going to be like even more satisfying when I beat you at GDQ now.
It's gonna be a good race. That's all I'm gonna say. Ending in me winning.
Somebody's career in MGS3 is gonna get destroyed, and you have to wait until AGDQ 2023 to find out whose it will be. But yeah, I'm sorry your capture card died, man.
Oh yeah, that
You know,
sounds good.
I'm really looking forward to watching you guys run this. Pending when you get a replacement and all that. But this is a really exciting category to watch, and I know for sure this will get met, but definitely make sure this incentive gets met for all camos and face paints. Everyone watching, I know people tuning in will do this, but we want to see this happen. Get it upgraded from a standard European Extreme race to all camos and face paints. If you enjoyed what you see, make it happen. Gonna be on, I want to say Thursday, on January. See if I don't cheat. January 12th. Yep, I had to cheat. Sorry. But yeah, it's January 12th. Definitely watch it. Definitely make sure that incentive gets met. Like I said, I was filling in for Sparty today, which I know he and D-Limes will be covering this race. And I'm sure it'll be absolutely a blast, regardless of whoever wins.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line too because the loser has to eat their own Xbox.
And this is gonna be live streamed.
God.
Yeah, on stream.
I must live stream myself eating an Xbox. I mean, my bad. Apache streaming.
Wow, he's
himself
already
eating
admitted
an
to
eggplant.
defeat. Let's go.
I'm in his head. I'm in his head.
Whoa.
Oh, good stuff, everybody. Good stuff. But yeah, that was very, very nice run by Vermillion. Couple mistakes, but overall, very good run. Well under estimate, and amazing commentary from you two memesters as always. It was good stuff. Any parting words before we do the mystery thingy?
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, I think I pretty much said it all. But yeah, thanks for having me here again. And yeah, I'm looking forward to what this mystery thingy is.
All right. Well, stay tuned to find out. It'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. It is a race, so we'll get that ready for you, and you'll see what it is here in about maybe 5 seconds or so. So we'll be right back.